We're
I
not.
think you should edit that whole thing out. Start again.
Good evening and welcome to Lebs on League. Again, I have on my left cousin. I have cousin Bass. I had Bass. Cousin Al. Unfortunately, his lobotomy didn't go as well as we first hoped. But we do expect that he'll be back next week. He was told not to sit down. He sat down and he's re-injured his brain.
He's torn his stitches. Yeah, it was messy. He had stitches in his anus.
Yeah, anal stitches. Anyway, he's not very bright.
So, in memoriam of Al, I'd like to start off by saying, I want to talk about Souths this week.
I want to talk about Souths this week. Bass?
Please do. Please. Being a South Sydney fan, I'll give you the floor.
Earlier today, Bass and I had a conversation, and I said, what did you think about the Greg Inglis, the ruling on 3-match suspension? Originally, he was given a grade 4 charge. He was then downgraded to grade 3 and given a 3-match suspension. And then I asked, how is that different to what happened with Ben Teo when he hit Matt Grote? And the tackles are very, very similar. And he got originally a grade 3 charge, was it? And then he got downgraded to a grade 2, and he got 1-match suspension, I believe. So how come Greg Inglis,
I'll tell you how come.
for the same charge, well, not the same charge, but for the same incident,
sort of tackle, yeah.
it's very similar. And if anything, if you look at it, Greg Inglis had to change position, and within just fractions of a second, puts the shoulder into.
He had to change position, and for a fraction of a second, had to put the shoulder into it. I like that.
You had to put the shoulder.
Yeah,
in.
Obviously, he couldn't have wrapped his arms around him and tackled. Because, Dean Young was looking for support.
He was looking for support.
And Greg Inglis, hang on a sec, Greg Inglis was coming at an angle where he could see if there was support.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was none.
Yep.
He could have just wrapped his arms around him, and it was tackled effective. Let's rewind a couple of weeks when Souths played Brisbane.
Yeah.
Greg Inglis smashed the Brisbane Broncos fullback Josh Hoffman twice
with
a shoulder charge in the same way. Luckily for Greg Inglis in that game, they went off well. They didn't connect with the head.
Yep.
He absolutely poleaxed Josh Hoffman twice.
And what did the rugby league do about it?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because
Greg, be careful. If Hoffman was a bit shorter, maybe the same height as Dean Young, then that could have been a lot worse. But no, nobody's pulled him aside and said that.
So the NRL should sit down and watch every game and go, you know what? That tackle was close, borderline. We better pull him in and give him some tackling advice.
Why not?
Are you serious?
Say that it's a loaded gun. It's about to go off. You keep tackling like that, someone's going to get hurt.
You roll the dice.
But instead, it's part of the game, and it's accepted as part of the game. And I'm not angry just because it's Greg Inglis and he plays for the Bunnies. I'm not angry with that. I just think that this year, in particular, I have seen some horrible cases of inconsistency, especially with the judiciary, on the field with the refereeing, and this is a perfect case. Ben Teo, and if you look at the incidents, and I'm going to show them on the screen right now, have a look at the incidents, have a look where the shoulder connects. These
Where does the shoulder connect?
Both times with the head.
With who?
Ben Teo's
okay.
With,
have you finished?
No.
Have you had? Keep going.
No, wait for it.
Finish your end.
And so, for some reason, Ben Teo gets a grade 3 charge, downgraded to a grade 2, and gets a 1-match suspension. However, for what seems to be identical, and I don't know what I'm missing compared to the judiciary, Greg Inglis gets a grade 4 charge, downgraded to a grade 3, and gets a 3-match suspension. Okay, Bass, you can talk now. Explain.
Have you finished?
No, I'm not done, but I want to hear what you've got to say.
Okay. Ben Teo, shoulder charging Matt Grote, right?
Yeah.
Head on, knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you trying to tell me, granted, Greg Inglis did not go in there.
That's okay then.
No, well...
You knew it was coming, so it's
let me tell you something. Don't tell me that Greg Inglis, that wasn't a dog act. He blindsided...
as everybody does in the game.
Okay.
It's football.
So you roll the dice, and if it doesn't go your way, you pay the price. So, he chose not to tackle him, and he's winning there, goes, I'm going to smash this guy. And guess what? It didn't go his way. He was unconscious. Dean Young was unconscious before he hit the ground.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He landed, and then he bounced on his face. That's how unconscious he was.
Yeah.
And you think that Greg Inglis shouldn't have got anything for that?
Oh, look, I think it's unfortunate, and nobody wants to see that.
Okay.
I don't want to see. I don't like to see big hits in football.
Okay.
I don't want to see people like Dean Young, who I do have respect for. I don't want to see him get knocked out. It was a sickening blow. But it is rugby league, and this is what we do in rugby league.
Do we penalise a high shot?
We are under pressure. We are under pressure to stop the momentum of the play. We are under pressure to stop this person from getting the ball away. We are under a lot of pressure in so many ways when it comes to making a tackle and how we are trained to make those tackles. And when it goes wrong accidentally, we are then charged for it. And then there's inconsistent charging for it. This is where I make...
Mate, what you got to keep in mind is, like I said to you, I'm not saying that we should outlaw the shoulder charge. It's a gladiatorial sport, low body contact, and in the process of making any tackle in a rugby league game, mate, you twist somebody the wrong way, a knee goes, so on and so forth. But when you make a conscious decision that you're going to go in and shoulder charge someone, and it goes wrong, or you connect in the wrong place, you took that chance. You took that chance. It's a low percentage play. It is a low percentage play. And the only people that shoulder charge are the ones that are trying to either get it over someone or make a statement.
Which is what we love about the game.
But granted,
I don't want that to finish.
Never. I'm not saying that we should outlaw it. Again, I reiterate that one more time. I don't want it to be like rugby union, where if you got to come in with a wrapping tackle, you can't shoulder charge. It's a penalty straight away. That's why our game is what it is. But at the same time, they made the law clear cut a long time ago. Any connection to the head will not be tolerated, even if it's an accident. It won't be tolerated. That's why they came up with the grading system. It was reckless, careless, on and so forth.
But this is where I think it's the interpretation of what this actually was what really gets me. Because I go back to Ben Teo again. If you actually slow down both plays and you look at the point of contact with the head, there's virtually no difference. The only difference I saw was that Ben Teo actually lifted his body right towards the end, which really basically sealed the deal and ensured that his shoulder was going to connect. At the end of the day. But when you look at Greg Inglis's, he's moving in one direction and then suddenly changes, and then all of a sudden there's a connection. So you can't say that one was worse off than the other. If anything, you could say that Ben Teo's was. However, the charges, Ben Teo, a grade 3, downgraded to a grade 2, 1 match suspension. Greg Inglis, grade 4, downgraded to grade 3, 3 match suspension. And this is what I don't understand. And I think you also mentioned to me earlier on, but we ran out of film. You were saying that if it was somebody else, if it was Jonathan Thurston...
Yeah, look, mate, there are, like I've said this 1,000 times, there are rules for some and for others in the game. If you're a big name, Greg Inglis, Travis Burns, in the game against the Panthers last week, chicken wing, high tackle, granted he jumped and swung his 12 weeks. 12 weeks! If that's by taking the guilty plea. If he actually fought it and lost, it was going to be 17 weeks. Yeah. That's a season.
That's a season.
So that's Travis Burns. He's a nobody. We can rub him out for as long as we like. A couple of years ago, Sonnyville Williams hit Andrew Johns in a shoulder charge or a high tackle. Everybody goes, it was an accident. The penalty was sufficient. He copped a week because it was Andrew Johns that he hit. I guarantee you, had Greg Inglis hit Jonathan Thurston or Cameron Smith or Billy Slater, he would have got a shitload more than 3 weeks. But on the flip side of the coin, the fact that it was Greg Inglis saved him from a higher weekly suspension as well. So, mate, be happy with the downgrade. 3 weeks is good. He needed the rest, Greg. He's had a long campaign.
Still not happy.
Origin victories. He's tired.
Steve Price. Maguire accusing Steve Price of bringing the game into disrepute by talking or likening the hit to was it Matt Pry on Jonathan Thurston.
Nothing similar.
There's absolutely nothing similar whatsoever.
I think Steve Price took the opportunity to just wanted to make it be heard that when his player did something wrong, he was rubbed out for a long time. Now his player's on the receiving end of it.
So is that his motivation? I mean, I'm trying to work out what else it is.
Well, I think he broke the unwritten law.
It's not an unwritten law. It's actually a written law.
It is actually a written law. But amongst the coaches and the playing group, it's just you don't make comments.
I'll tell you what that law is. I'll just read it out to you. It clearly states the NRL Code of Conduct, Section 30, subsections 1 and 2, under the heading of public comment, that no one shall comment on any subject of a proceeding before the match review committee.
Yeah. Well, he did.
And he did.
And he did.
So where's his penalty? What happens there?
Who's going to penalise him?
I don't know. Well, what other penalties?
Well, where's the independent... Where's the board? Where's the independent committee?
Those guys.
The commission. Where are the commission?
I think they're still asleep. Haven't they done? What have they done this year?
They've changed our final system from the McIntyre system to...
Anyway, how do you think this is going to impact on Souths now leading up to the finals?
You know, I know we're doing a rugby league show, but let's not talk about South. I don't really want to talk about South that much.
We're talking about an incident.
I was just happy that a South player was rubbed out for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
being a Roosters supporter,
yeah.
You know, it's in our blood. It's ingrained in us to hate the bunnies.
Yep.
You know, they pinch all our useless players after we're done with them. They take them anyway.
Yep.
Shannon Hegarty went to South Sydney for $500,000.
And what did you do there?
Nothing. He just took your money, like every other player.
Like
Michael Crocker.
He's good. Crocker's doing well. Keep it up.
Yeah, another Rooster.
Keep it up.
How many Roosters have you pinched?
I don't know, a few.
All of them. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll have to help our little cousins from
you guys got a couple of South juniors running around?
Who?
Braithen Nass is a South junior. You're welcome to him, however.
We bought him from the Dogs.
He was originally a South junior, though.
So I know, but we got him from the Dogs.
Doesn't matter. So, just an example.
Yeah. He's...
Anyway, look, thanks for joining us again.
No, I'm finished. I'll talk about Parramatta.
Let's talk about Parramatta. What about Parramatta?
Because cousin Fatso's not here. Like that? When you're not here, we can just kick you whilst you're down, cousin Fatso. What, we can't talk about Parramatta?
No, but let's quickly talk about Parramatta, because
I want to talk
about.
No, well, you know,
Ricky Stewart, I think.
I heard that, you know, after his injury last week, Jared Hayne was going to be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think Ricky Stewart coming on board would have said to him, listen, Jared, we're going to win the Wooden Spoon this year anyway. So you may as well just get yourself right.
Go and win it. Congratulations. Well played.
Well done, Parra.
Yeah.
You know what the saddest part about all that is?
What?
This pains me to say. Nathan Hindmarsh does not deserve to go out with a wooden spoon.
I totally agree with you, and I'm so upset for Nathan Hindmarsh, and I have been since the very beginning of the season when the Parramatta looked like they were doing absolutely nothing.
So, although cousin Lobotomy isn't here today,
yep.
I want to say that in defence, Al, that we don't always, rubbish your club.
Yep.
I think Hindmarsh is a legend.
But I'm about to rubbish your club because shame on you guys for pulling out a win last week when we knew that you could do it. You got the players to do it, but for some reason you decided that last week was a good idea to do it.
See how useless cousin Al is? He didn't put his money where his mouth. He even said, I put my house on it.
Put his house on it. He did say that.
And he didn't even go put $10 on it.
No.
I mean,
you know why? Needed the money for his lobotomy.
True. The anus probe.
The what? Stop getting your surgery from the Mexicans. This is why you're not here today.
Hey.
Stitching.
Look after your anus. But, all shit aside, Ricky Stewart would have said to Jared, let it go. You can't do that.
Go on.
Yes, Jared Hayne has been set out for the rest of the year to hopefully get him right for next year.
Get his head right. Everyone needs to get their head right.
But I don't think there's enough players on the market, although the Parramatta have got a big checkbook.
Can't someone buy Hindmarsh for next year and just give him one
I
last
honestly
He's
think
got another season.
Bellamy can do it. Bellamy usually buys leftover riffraff from every club in terms of... Like, he bought Jamin Lowe from you guys in... Jamin Lowe.
And he's doing well.
Well, he couldn't play on the bench for South, so what does that tell you?
I tell you what, but you know what, it saddens me to say that I really believe that Hindmarsh is already settling himself in for TV next year. He's got a cushy TV career. You deserve it. Just would love to see you go out with a big bang because you deserve that as well. Anyway, thanks very much. I'm Johnny. This is Cousin Bass.
Why am I Cousin Bass?
He's Bass, because I was thinking Cousin Al. This is just Bass. And we are Lebs on League, and we'll see you next week.
I don't want to be Cousin Bass.
Okay, what's that? I'm Johnny, and this is...
Bass.
Bass.
Cousin Lobotomy's not here.
Cousin Lobotomy's not here.
His anus is still.